Hello everyone. Hi, I'm back, and I have Chris with me, my boo thing. So we're gonna be talking about basically pop culture right now. A few things going on, and I want to start with love and hip hop. Get your opinion on this first. There was a rule implemented recently now, like about 4 or 5 years ago. There was a all plastic rule when filming on Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, the shows that involve the physical violence and stuff. So now, thanks to a certain Puerto Rican princess, Love and Hip Hop has implemented a no fighting rule. I don't know if that's gonna hold up so far. Watching this season, that rule has held up. There's usually been a fight within the first 3 or 4 episodes, but there hasn't been yet. So I want to know if you would think that helps or hurts the show, because I know a lot of people come to expect the physical part. Keep in mind they axed the physical violence also on Basketball Wives Miami, and look where that's at. So I want to get your opinion on that.
Okay, so I actually think that in a way it's a good thing, but for the show overall is going to be a bad thing, because I think that people who have come to love the show came to love it because of the ratchet violent stuff. The only show that I feel kind of started off with some ratchetness and then moved away from it and ended up being successful was the Oprah Winfrey Show. Because somehow she did pull it off. She has a few little ratchet shows early on, and then she moved away from it. And but her fan base changed, and I don't think that Love and Hip Hop is going to go out there and grab that fan base that's going to do it. Like, you have Wendy Williams who did it, but that's coming with age. With age, people start changing, and they don't want to see as much violence and stuff.
Okay. As a little younger viewer, Stevie, Jocelyn, I don't think that's it. They're the ones holding my attention. And I think it comes with the cast and personality as well, because you got Stevie and Jocelyn has not hit anybody, but because of her personality, I'm still entertained. If that makes sense. And you got people who like Erica, Scrappy, Rashida. If y'all not beefing with somebody, I'm not even entertained by y'all. That's just how boring I think y'all are. Mama D, she don't have to beef with nobody. Mama D just talking entertains me because she's so delusional that it entertains me. Same with Jocelyn. Jocelyn lives in her own world, which I think is damn near impossible for a rational person. Like, well, no, Mimi's not rational, but it's impossible for Mimi to win just a verbal argument with her, because Jocelyn is in her own world. Like when she said Jocelyn hit her, and Jocelyn's like, "When did I hit you, Mimi?" Like stuff like that. So if they had the right kind of cast and there was a non-violent show like the Housewives before the whole Portia and Kenya thing, there was none of the Housewives that actually got into a physical situation, and it was still the top rated show on Bravo. It still is, but I'm just saying, even before the violence or whatever, it was a top rated show. So I think if you have the right chemistry and cast, it'll work. What?
I just think the IQ level of the Housewives total is like about 15 times higher than the Love and Hip Hop crew. So I think that's true. Where they run into the issue. So these people can argue intelligently, and then there's Portia.
Portia's dumb. Also, I think with the Housewives, it was built on successful rich women. So I think because most of these women have businesses or represent some kind of brand or have some kind of money to where, it could be damaged, like their business or reputation could be damaged if they're on TV scrapping. I think that's another reason why, because if you look at Atlanta, specifically the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast, most of them were unknown people who we didn't really know. They didn't mind scrapping it up real quick. Some of them were struggling singers, rappers, actresses, whatever. So they really did all they had to do to keep it up. Whereas people like Lisa Vanderpump from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or Candy from Atlanta, or Bethany from New York, these are people who have legitimate businesses who represent a brand. So I feel like you won't catch them, jumping across a table. I feel like if you push Candy, you could catch up. But But Calm Candy would not be, running across tables, throwing bottles like Evelyn was or something. So, and even Evelyn, by the end of Basketball Wives, she knew, okay, that shit ain't working no more. I done got headbutted trying to be hard, and so let me cut that out. And Basketball Wives kind of fizzled out. So I don't think Basketball Wives can survive. LA is surviving without the drama, but for some reason, I guess because of the Miami cast, they went way beyond what LA has ever did. They were throwing bottles at each other. They were physically threatened, jumping over tables, throwing plants and drinks and slapping each other. So I think that's the reason why they went so far above that when they came back for that last season, it was like, this is a snooze fest, and I'm not here for it.
But it was the violence that everybody talked about.
Exactly. My mama was, that's what got into it, because the very first episode of Basketball Wives I saw, my mama saw, my sister saw, was, I only saw bits and pieces of the first season through clips because I never knew the show was on. It wasn't until season 2 when they introduced Tammy Roman. I saw Tammy on there turn it up, and I was like, she looked familiar. And, that's when they were saying she was on The Real World and stuff. And that's when, I noticed her, and that's what got me hooked on the show, Tammy. I know Evelyn and Shawnee were also two of the big players, but it was Tammy for me. So, and when first time Tammy was with the cast, she was about to fight Jean and Evelyn. So, that was what turned it on for me. But I would like to move on to Miss Tamar Braxton. So, for those of you who do not know, Tamar Braxton has came out with her album in like 2012, 13, something like that. It was successful for her to say she, started from nothing, or with a reality show as Tony Braxton's sister. But anyway, so everybody knows they haven't heard any new music from Tamar, no new performances or anything. What's recently come out that Tamar and Mr. Vincent, her husband, have been having a little, I won't say money problems. Maybe they're just like the rich people who think they don't have to pay for things. I follow them on social media, and Tamar's former nanny, former stylist, former assistant, former makeup artist, producers, record execs, band, like there were just all these people who said, the IRS have said that Tamar and Vince owe them money because they have used their services and not paid them with the IRS. Vince owes like $3 million or 1.3 million or something like that. I know it's in the millions. He owes the IRS millions in back taxes. Also, they can't record in any studios until they pay their bills. Same thing right now, they've been summoned to court because a nanny who was with Tamar for one of her 3 tours to pay off her advancement for her record, she didn't sell enough albums to make enough to pay them back, which is why she went on 3 tours. Who do you know takes one record and go on three separate tours? So that should tell you something right there. They having money problems. If that was that case, Vince could have just wrote them a check and paid them back. What I want to say about this is, she is all about stunting and on Instagram calling people out and saying this and that and saying how her life is so much better. But when it comes to stuff like this, she's surprisingly mute and on silent. And the reason I'm saying that is because that brings me to Chris and I were talking about it. He was saying, what if Tamar doesn't know? And so I'm like, well, at some point you gotta suspect something. If all these people are saying, hey, Tay, I haven't been paid, I've been working for you. First of all, these people crazy, because if you miss my first check, something going on. But for these people, like the nanny, say she went the entire tour and she didn't get a check, or for makeup artists have been working with her like a year, 2 years, and you ain't got paid. Something's wrong. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think Tamar not knows, or do you think she's in on it with Vince, or what?
I think there's a possibility she may not know exactly, but I think that everybody has a responsibility to know what's going on with their money, and a portion of the money that's coming in there is hers. And we hope that she's making money. And if you're gonna sit on a show called The Real, then you really need to figure out what's going on with yourself and your stuff, so that you can make sure that everyone else in the world can stop meeting you at the door and checking you about your non-finances in the way of what you're supposed to be putting out?
Well, I mean, I feel like I know they have the money. I feel like they're just hiding it. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they hiding the money, but I just know that it's not a good look. If you don't pay your bills, then I'm with you. Like, if I don't get paid my first chance, the first time you're supposed to pay me, then we're going to have problems. You better ask Ray's Barbecue in West Memphis, boo. When I did not get my check, I did not show up the next time because it was just like, when he told me, we'll have to give you your check. Actually, it wasn't, I'm sorry, Ray, let me tell the truth. It wasn't that you didn't give me my check, it's that the check bounced. And when I went to cash the second one, they told me they would not cash it. So I had to go to the big store on the other end of West Memphis, cash that check, and I never went back to work there because I couldn't be dealing with my checks not being willing to cash. So at least, Tamar, you're not handing out bad checks. Just not giving them out at all.
I agree with that. I was actually at a job one time and I had direct deposit, and I check every Friday that I get paid, make sure my check is in there before I even, get up and decide I'm about to get dressed. And I told my boss this, and one day, I checked and the check wasn't in the bank. And so I politely called my boss at the time and I let him know, hey, my check is not in the bank. I'm not coming into work. And he thought it was a joke. And so I was like, well, I'm going back to sleep because I can't do anything right now till the bank opens. But, once the bank opens, I'll be up and then we can discuss, we can talk, whatever. And so he called me back at about an hour later and was like, why are you not at work? I was like, I thought we cleared this up an hour ago. And he was like, yeah, my check isn't in there either. I said, then why are you calling me? I can't give you your check. And he actually is saying, well, the people saying, how you have to sign up on it. Well, he forgot to hit the button or whatever. I was like, well, okay, well, let me know when he hits it. And I'll let you know when I get my check in the bank, and then I'll come into work. It was a whole debacle, and it ended up basically, what happened was the higher up people, he wrote them checks or whatever. The rest of us had to wait. I say, well, as long as I'm waiting, I'm not coming to work. So, yeah, I didn't go back in until about 12 o'clock the next day because that's when I looked and saw my check in the bank. And I was waiting on them to write me up to me I was fired or submitted or something because we was going to have a problem. But, the man came talking about, I understand. I was like, okay, I'm just making sure you understand. And the reason I said all that is because how can you work for her for like a year or 6 months or however long you work for her and decide all of a sudden now you about to sue? No, baby, you should be worried about why the first check did. Okay, we could be cool like this. Like, I know her stylist at one point, they went on vacation with him. Okay, but while you was on vacation, you should have made sure your check was getting deposited. Okay, just because you paying for me to go on vacation don't mean you taking that out of my check. That's not, I didn't know.
Because I'm here so you can be styled.
Exactly. So either way, I might be in Cancun with you, but I'm still working. So I better be getting paid. I'm appearing on camera with you, so that better be a reality check. Exactly, because I didn't sign no waiver. I'm doing this for free. No. If I'm signing a waiver to do that for free, that means in my other check I'm getting a bonus or something. Like I consider that working. If I'm with my boss, I am working. So how can you go that long with her? Because he put everything on his Instagram about I did all this for you for free and stuff. That was your fault. You did that for free. I understand that. Now I fault her for not paying. But for you to keep working when she missed the first check, the second check, the third check, like that's where I come and start blaming the other side, because I'm like, you
should have had a half done hairdo.
First of all, that's probably why she was walking around looking the way she was looking, is because they weren't getting paid, and they was like, this bitch is gonna pay me. I'm about to play her ass. She thought she was looking good, but I can pull up a cup office where Tamar looked a hot ass mess. And her delusional ass thought, oh, I'm beat. No, it looked like somebody beat you, but not in the nice way. Anyway, so I want to talk about these next little topics. They're going to kind of merge together. I'm going to be talking about Janet Jackson, Wendy Williams, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, and Britney Spears. Why? The reason I'm saying they kind of are going to merge together is because I'll do this one first. With the everybody who knows, in the music world knows that Janet announced she's coming back with new music, new tour, new album, And with that being said, the reason Wendy Williams is included in this is because Miss Wendy, who 90% of the time I agree with, this is not one of those times, but 90% of the time I agree with, she said that She doesn't think Janet can make a comeback out of being, gone for so long, whatever. And she doesn't see it from Miss Jackson. She actually says that she thinks once Mariah Carey, Britney Spears, and I think Jennifer Lopez finishes their Las Vegas residencies, that Janet should go to Las Vegas and only do her older hits, into a show or whatever. And this is probably that 10% why I don't agree with Wendy. The reason why is because I don't see Janet as a Britney Spears or even a Celine Dion where they've comfortably settled in. I feel like Janet has more to do, put it like that. I feel like she's got more to do. What people don't realize, her last album came out was Discipline, and I don't know why, but people tend to say that's a flop. Discipline was a #1 album. So, and that was her last one. That was her latest one. So I don't understand why people say, oh, she hasn't had a hit album in years or, since the 90s. I'm like, but her last album was a #1 album. Like, did it stay at #1 as long as the other ones? No. But it was a #1 fucking album. So I just don't understand how people can say she doesn't have it anymore. Well, you don't have to look at the 90s. Look at her last album. Not only that, Janet steps out and doesn't say a word. She just steps out in public and people lose their shit and are like, I've been seeing stuff on Instagram, Facebook, on her Facebook pages, on her Instagram. When are you coming back? We're ready. We're waiting. We want the new stuff. We're here for, Whereas when Mariah Carey releases something, there's no big anticipation for it. Mm-hmm. Nothing against Mariah, because I feel like Mariah is a legend in her own right. Mm-hmm. But you don't see the same kind of anticipation when Mariah is about to come out with something. You don't see the same type of participation anymore when Britney's about to come out with something. Britney has a new song out, and it's flopping. Mariah Carey has a new song out, flopping. And Rihanna, she's released about 3 or 4 singles off of her supposed to be upcoming album. None of them have done well. They've even pushed back her album release date because they are not confident that it's going to do well, because Rihanna has a #1 single from every single album, at least one. So for the fact that she has none and her album is supposed to be coming out, that's got the record companies kind of like, oh, is Rihanna losing her spark, or is she losing what we have made her? Is her image gone, whatever? So I just want to know, kind of your opinion on all that I just said, starting of course with the Janet and work your way to the other girl, the other ladies.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think that that comparison that they were putting out there with Janet, just like he would do with Michael if he were still here, would be with the last thing that he did. So that's where I feel the people are coming from when they're saying that her album didn't do well, is because you're comparing her with the history of Janet Jackson's performance in her album sales. I do agree with you that I believe that Janet will successfully pull it off, because the thing is that you have to understand, you have to understand about like Michael when he was here, is that they knew how to package themselves. I mean, in the last video we were just saying how, that I was on, we were saying how Ciara failed because she didn't deliver her package properly, So she came out with a ballad when that's not what you're known for. You're not known for ballads, so don't open with the ballad. You're known for dancing. So Janet is going to come back. She's going to have a sickening beat in a song. She's going to have a sickening video that's going to be futuristic and dancing, or all natured out and all this stuff, and it's going to snatch people on into it. She's going to pop up on award shows. She's going to deliver the performances, much like the package that Beyonce uses today, because it's not one that she invented. The package that Beyonce uses to bring the music to the world is not something that she just made up. It's just that she took it and she does it very well, and she pushes it to a level that is much like Michael did before. And one thing I can tell you is that whether it's thought of as crap initially or not, then it's going to be given to you so much until you love something about it, and you're going to be on board with it. And that's the way that Janet Jackson is going to deliver hers to you. She's not going to, the only issue that Janet may run into is the fact that for whatever reason, unbeknownst to God, like we have had to introduce people to the fact that Janet Jackson is not just an actress. You know, that's where she started, but then she had this huge music career in between there that was excellent and people loved. So Google Janet Jackson, look at some of her stuff, look up like the Velvet Rope tour and things of that nature, and see who Janet Jackson is. It's just like when we took the kids to the Usher concert, and they were just like, they thought they were going to be bored, and they were there to see August Alsina. But then when Usher hit
the open act, he was on for like 15 minutes.
He kept sticking his hand in his pants like he had crabs or something. But when Janet got on that stage, Usher got on that stage, their faces lit up and they understood why we wanted to go see Usher. So I just think that there should be something. She needs to start a little bit of campaign right now to show clips of her past, and I know that she's going to be good about showing like little clips of videos, the stuff building up to the anticipation of her album coming out. So yes, on that Wendell, I do not agree with you. Who was it else? Rihanna and Britney. Okay, so here's the thing. I think Rihanna has gotten way too comfortable, and there is nothing that she's doing to
wow anybody.
Yes, or build new fan base, because sometimes people just give up. First off, everybody who I know who's like a diehard Rihanna fan don't have a job. Catch that. So for those of you who are diehard Rihanna fans who do have jobs, then you know, high five to you, and get your other people to catch up and on board. But you know, it's like I don't see you guys being able to stick around long enough, because most of you don't have jobs because you don't believe in sticking in the jobs, and so that's shows signs of loyalty. So that's what your fan base is built off of, you know. And anytime your fan base realistically kind of shot up because you got beat by somebody, and now this person is coming back around and people are falling in love with them again, that's a problem.
I don't know about the no job part. He just shaded all y'all. But I will say, she makes no Rihanna, I'm talking about, makes no secret of the fact that there's not one piece of lyric that she has sung that she has written on any of her songs. The only lyrics that she ever wrote that she sung wasn't even her song. It was the song "Running This Town" with I think Jay-Z and Kanye. She wrote the hook. But her own songs, she holds writers' camps. So I understand a lot of her songs seemed like, oh, Rihanna's going through this or that. These are these writers who have written these songs. And she picks the best songs out of the writing camps. My problem with that is you don't really get to know who Rihanna is. You don't get to feel her as an artist, because it's like, you didn't even write this. This ain't from your heart. Or like when she went through the whole thing with Chris Brown and she came out with the I'm So Hard. I was just like, you are? Like... It was just a little odd to me when she was like, she's so hard and, you know, can't nobody F with her and stuff. And I'm just like... But
she leads the writing camp, right? So she's the one who's giving it the focus of where they should be going with the song.
I mean, she picks what song she feels the most, but I'm just like... You can't be saying, fuck everybody, I'm doing great, and then you come out with a single like, I'm so depressed. And then you can't be like, I'm so depressed, and then you come out with a single like, I'm, you know, the happiest I've ever been. It's just like, it kind of clashes with me. From seeing her in interviews and then watching her perform. Like, I like some of her songs, don't get me wrong. But I feel like also she relies on gimmicks. Like, her hair's a little reddish now. Everybody says she always changes her hair before she comes out with an album, or, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, but I need more. Like, I don't know. Beyonce's hair has stayed the same for a long time, but I know when she about to come out with something, she is putting everything she has into, you know, giving us whatever she's about to give us. Whether it's an incomplete sounding song that she makes you love, or whether it's a ballad, she might do it great on, you know, record, but get out there and perform it live and switch it up so much you just feel like you're watching a new performance. You know, like, I ain't never heard this song before. So it's just like, I feel like Rihanna doesn't
do that.
She doesn't give me,
it's hard to
I need to see this performance again. Because it's like, if I see this performance on The View, it's going to be the exact same performance on Wendy Williams. ad libs and everything. It's like Beyonce can go off script and add a note here or there because you know she's singing live.
Yes.
Britney and Rihanna, you know, no shade to Britney, she's accomplished a lot, but y'all know.
Britney's not singing.
You know, Britney's not on damn. Britney, with that video a couple weeks ago, Britney did a little spin or whatever, hurt herself on her Vegas act. Did her voice not keep playing? Did she not have to keep lip syncing? Yes, because she know the track is still going. She in pain, but her lips were still fake moving because she know I can't stop singing right now because the track is not gonna stop. So I don't know. And we know sometimes Janet lip syncs, but Janet has the package. Like Janet can still give you a different performance and switch it up. I just feel like sometimes Rihanna just goes through the emotions. I feel like ever since Britney we had her little meltdown and she came back, it's clear they got her on something because she's just going through it. She is nothing behind her eyes. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird.
I agree with Window on that.
About what?
Britney on something.
Oh yeah.
And I would say I agree with you 110% on what you just said about Britney. And then with Mariah, I just think that Mariah needs to
retire.
I'm not even gonna say retire. I just think that she needs to sit back and nurture her voice and pop up every now and then, because I don't think that Mariah has lost it totally. I just think that she keeps pushing it wrong, and I think that if she actually sits back and focuses in on her voice, then she could be one of those treasures. You know, she could pop up somewhere and sing like Patti LaBelle. Like, I mean, even though Patti hasn't lost anything, if anything, shit just keeps getting stronger and stronger, then Mariah could be one of those people that you probably be like, oh, it's Mariah. I mean,
I feel like I agree with you. I feel like Mariah can do what Whitney from 2000 to 2005 did. Like, you didn't see her a lot. But if she make an appearance at a award show, she'd come out and say nothing and have a standing ovation. It's because you haven't seen this person in forever, but you know this person can slay. But with Mariah, it's like she's everywhere and she's not giving the best performances when she's ever. So people are starting to, I think that's starting to fuck up her status. You know what I mean? Like, and it makes her look sometimes desperate when she's like, she's a fine, beautiful lady, but then she photoshops the hell out of herself on these covers, and Wendy drags her ass because it's like, Mariah, you do not look like this.
And Whitney is actually the person who should be her role model. That's who she should be trying to
because they
focus
knew
on the model.
They knew her voice wasn't the same, and
they knew she was crazy.
But
I know that about you too.
But when Whitney would come out, even if you hadn't seen her in a year, she'd come out and sing a note, you know, and because she is not singing every night, she can maybe get that note out since it's the only time she's gonna hit it in 6 months or something. But with Mariah's like the other day I was on YouTube, she performed Vision of Love and that new song Infinity. She did it at the Billboard Awards, Jimmy Kimmel, and I think Good Morning America, all in the same week. So by the third time she did it, which is I think was Good Morning America, she could barely sing it because she'd been pushing herself all damn week to hit the same shit over and over. And it's like, Mariah, we know who you are, we know what you've done, but now you're just looking desperate. And now she took this Las Vegas residency and she canceled her second show. Her second show due to, what do you want to say, bronchitis. And it's like, she already has admitted that she needs vocal rest. So she does a show Monday through Wednesday or Monday through Thursday, and she's got Friday through Sunday off or something like that. Even still, from what it sounds like, her voice can't even handle doing Monday through Thursday. But we all know Mariah does not have the easiest songs to sing. So, you know, even for Mariah Carey, it's a struggle to sing those songs. Maybe if she would have did like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know. But I do know that she is basically, I think she's destroying her voice even more because she's pushing it to do things that her voice can't do everything. Even her talking voice is different. Her talking voice is much, much deeper than it used to be, and I think it's because she's damaging her throat. But she's still Mariah Carey, and she's still, right up there under, I think, like the Beatles and Elvis. No, I think she beat Elvis. I think she's like right under the Beatles for most #1 singles, in ever. So, I mean, she's done a lot of legendary things. It's just, I think she's tarnishing her overall legend status the more she makes, an effort to.
Diana making around.
Diana can show up and be like, do you want to sing? No. Like, she'll tell you no, or, but we know she can still sing. Thanks to her daughter on Instagram, Miss Tracy Ellis, she posts pictures from others singing all the time. It's just she does it in private. She doesn't have to prove. She doesn't have anything to prove, so she doesn't have to get on stage and perform even when she's not feeling it. She doesn't have to.
And I love you, Diana, but no shade. There's no difficulty in your songs, but
you know what? Hard, no.
That's smart though, because you can still sing your shit today.
You can be 80
and Mariah can't.
Take your teeth out and still sing your song.
And truth be told, I think Nick damaged Mariah's throat.
On that note, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you. We're gonna wrap it up on that note. Thank you for viewing the video. Remember to share and subscribe. Thank you and bye.